Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Good morning, everyone. How many have we got out there today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Can everyone hear me and see me? Just give me a heads up, thumbs up, something like that.
Yep.
All right, good. Okay, so I'm going to jump in right now. This is titled Round Robin Bidding. And a couple questions for the group. In your particular part of the country, how's the real estate market right now? Would you consider it weak, steady, or strong? Feel free to unmute yourself and communicate with me. Other questions I would ask you, since I don't know if everyone can unmute or not. Are you seeing the number of days on the market for your listings increasing? Are you seeing an increase in price drops in your marketplace? Here in Florida, we're experiencing all of the above.
I'd say, the same in Seattle.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that, Molly. Molly, maybe you could share with us some of the successful strategies that maybe you've employed recently to get your hard-to-sell listings sold.
So I'm a brand new agent. I've never had a listing, so working with buyers mainly. So I think things are sitting on the market because they're priced a little high, and there's a lot more negotiation going on.
Okay,
for sure, in the Seattle market.
Welcome to the wonderful world of real estate. It is wild and wacky at times. I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you the only constant you'll have is change. So enjoy it because it's never boring. Anyway, I'm going to try and bring you back to an experience we had during the pandemic where it was typically a multiple offer atmosphere on our listings. And I'm trying to bring that back now through a process that's called round robin bidding. So let me set the table a little bit. I'm going to share with you my personal experience here last month with a particular listing that we had put on the market back at the first of the year, and it was an oceanfront condominium, and it was not getting a whiff of action. And we were competing against two other oceanfront condominiums at the time, and they too were experiencing the same thing. The bottom line problem in Florida right now is due to a collapse of an oceanfront condominium complex a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, called Surfside. The state had put in place some engineering inspection requirements, and then the insurance industry doubled down on that with increasing the rates for these buildings, because throughout Florida there's quite a few old condominium complexes. Suffice it to say, that all led to the perfect storm financially, where HOA association dues went up dramatically, and assessments to repair deferred maintenance went up exponentially as well. So it was a lot of headwind to be able to get offers on condominiums throughout Florida. So we've seen quite a bit more condominiums for sale than we're seeing selling. So I had an owner who was in financial pain. She was no longer living in the unit. She could no longer afford it. And to her, and this is an important phrase I want you to take away from this today, and you've probably already heard this, but I call it time is more important than the money. To her, the financial bleeding had to stop. So how are we going to do this? And also, I want to think about this. This time is more important than money could apply to a lot of different circumstances in your listings. It could be a divorce. It could be a potential bankruptcy. It could be an illness in the seller's or the seller's family. Could be a business or job relocation. They got to sell. The seller needs to sell their current home because they're under contract to buy their next home, whether it's here locally or somewhere out of town. Or maybe it's just as simple as they financially can't afford the real estate any longer. So they needed a solution. My particular seller needed a solution. It just gotten down to the bottom line. She was going to lose big time if we didn't get it under contract. So what we did was I had to explain to her the details around the round robin bidding strategy, and that was the biggest hurdle. And that'll be the biggest hurdle for you if you ever bring this up to a seller that's in one of these situations, because it's a very it's way different than anything they've ever heard about before, typically, and it smacks of an auction, which it realistically is to some extent, but applied to residential resale listings. And once I could get her to reconcile with reality, as I call it, she got on board with the idea. So this particular condominium listing was priced at $624,900. And what I had to convince her of is to let us reprice the listing to $500,000 with certain parameters and bumpers around that. And that'll be the biggest hurdle that you'll have with any sellers you're dealing with that have financial pain and they need to have it go away. So with that said, we put it on the market, repriced it, we did the round robin process. The round robin bidding started on May the 4th. It went under contract on May 13th, and we closed it for cash on May 24th. So if the first step is, and this is where Autumn, if you'll post this first exhibit for us, these are the details that I got the seller to agree to. And they were to agree to all terms and conditions of this quick sale process, meaning to reduce the price to $500,000. And the quick sale process, the round robin bidding, was going to start on Saturday, May the 4th, and it would continue all weekend. It would continue from that whole next week into the following weekend on May the 10th and May the 11th. The seller requested all bids during the 7-day quick sale period will be held until Sunday evening at 4 p.m. and presented only after the round robin bidding is completed. This is a big key and the reason the seller agreed to this. Paragraph D, seller is not obligated to accept any offer. And no bid is binding to the buyer or to the seller until a written sales contract is executed. And last but not least, I don't know in your particular MLS, but in our MLS, there is an auction tab that we check if this is going to be an auction. And so we had to get her to agree to checking that particular tab, auction status in the MLS. So once I got her over that hump, then we could put all the marketing into place and so forth and so on. And the first bit of marketing is directly into the MLS system, which got a ton of attention as soon as this was published. And so if Autumn, you'd put that second exhibit up, this is the exact language or something very close to it you want to post in the MLS under public comments as well as the private comments. And this is, I can't stress enough, it's got to be something very close to this to get the attention, because think about it, this is going out to every real estate search engine out there, whether it's Trulia, Realtor.com, Zillow, you name it. And boy, did my phone start to ring. Must sell, owner wants to sell this weekend, best bidder sale, Friday, and the dates, Saturday, the times, open for previews this Friday through Saturday. And then the key comment is the list price represents the opening bid. So that really got the ball rolling. Example number 3, or exhibit number 3, I want to show is what we put out there for, if Autumn will put that up, this is what we put out there social media-wise. This is what we put out there email blasts. This is what we put out there in, that's interesting. I don't know why that's in there. There you go. Way to go, Autumn. This was distributed in real estate offices. It was, we put it out everywhere. And you need to have something similar, but this gives you kind of what you can be thinking about using for your advertising if you ever get into the situation. And then last but not least are the bidding instructions, and this is exhibit number 4. These were posted both in the MLS under the documents section, and were also posted in stand-up displays in the condominium during the open house hours. And it clearly spells out how the bidding would work. So to finish the story about Ocean 14 and my cellar, so by Sunday, May the 12th, we had 3 people, and I'll back up and say what's happening during the open houses is there's a sign-in sheet, and on that sign-in sheet, it gives your the sign-in, the buyer who signs in is giving their complete name, phone number, email address. They're giving us their realtor, if their realtor is involved. And then there's a line there to give us their bid amount. So under that circumstances, when we get to Sunday at 4:00, that's when the round robin process begins. I begin with the first offer, let them know what the high bid is at that point, and they have the opportunity to increase their bid $5,000 above the highest bid. Then I go to bidder number 2, call them up, same process, and bidder number 3. So it took us about 30 to 45 minutes Sunday afternoon after the bidding was closed, and we were strictly working with the bidders who had signed in and put their bid down, and we got the final bid up to $575,000 cash. And as per the dates I gave you, it was a quick close. And my seller was literally crying. She was so happy. She had gotten this financial burden under contract and off of her plate. And now I get to go show her properties tomorrow to buy her next home at a price that she can afford. So that is a quick, very quick summary of the process and the exhibits. I would encourage you to go online and put in real estate round robin bidding in your search engine, and you will see a lot of similarities to this and what other people are doing. And I have found this to be very, very effective. This one example that I've been through. I have to give you full disclosure. I used to work for a national real estate auction company back during the downturn of 07 and 08 for a number of years. And I always brought auction companies in since 2010 or 11 up to present whenever it was deemed necessary. And but that's a very expensive and long process. This particular process is much more suited for residential real estate, and it does solve problems. So with that said, I open the floor to questions because I just kind of wanted to lay it out there for you and see what you thought and see what I can answer for you. So whoever would like to speak up and ask a question, go for it. So, Autumn, what you can do is if anybody has further interest and wants to talk to me directly, feel free to pass along my contact information. If anybody wants these particular exhibits, feel free to send them to anybody who has any further interest about it. But
we'll put them with the show notes. We'll attach them and everything when we post the recording.
Okay, that would be great. All right, here's your one last opportunity. Anybody else got any questions about this particular strategy? It works really well. Probably the biggest hurdle you're going to have is convincing a seller to understand that this is not going to hurt them it can't hurt them. They will find out what their home is worth, and they don't have to agree to the final bid price. So if you can get if you have a seller who absolutely time is more important than the money, then this is a perfect strategy for them. All right. Well, Autumn, thank you for everything. And thank you for everyone who came aboard this morning to see this idea. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you soon.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.